Imagine walking through a massive temple, its stone walls covered in strange symbols. The air is thick with the smell of burning incense, and the flickering light of torches dances across towering statues of gods. Outside, the great Nile River flows, bringing life to the desert. People in linen robes walk through busy markets, discussing trade, philosophy, and the will of the gods. This was ancient Egypt, not just a land of pyramids, but a world filled with deep beliefs, powerful rulers, and ideas that would influence humanity for thousands of years. Egypt wasn't just another ancient civilization. It lasted for over 3,000 years, longer than the time between the Roman Empire and today. Think about that. Kingdoms rose and fell, new ideas shaped the world, and yet, for millennia, Egypt remained one of the most advanced and powerful civilizations on Earth. But why? What made it so successful for so long? A big part of the answer lies in the Nile River. Unlike other ancient societies that struggled with unpredictable weather, Egypt had something special: consistency. Every year, like clockwork, the Nile flooded, leaving behind rich black soil. This made farming easy and reliable, allowing people to grow wheat, barley, and vegetables in abundance. With stable food supplies, Egyptian society could focus on more than just survival. They built cities, developed a writing system, and created one of the earliest known forms of government. At the top of this system was the pharaoh. But unlike kings in other parts of the world, the Egyptian pharaoh wasn't just a ruler. He was considered a god. His authority wasn't based on strength alone. It was rooted in something much deeper, Mat. This was the Egyptian concept of cosmic order, the balance between chaos and harmony. To the Egyptians, everything had to follow Mat, from the way people lived their lives to the way the universe itself worked. The pharaoh's job was to maintain that balance. If he ruled wisely, the land prospered. If he failed, famine, war, and disease would follow. But what made a ruler successful? Power alone wasn't enough. The greatest pharaohs understood politics, psychology, and even philosophy. Take Ramses II, one of Egypt's most famous rulers. He knew that true leadership wasn't just about winning battles. It was about shaping how people thought about power. After the Battle of Kadesh, he signed what is considered one of the first known peace treaties in history. But more importantly, he filled Egypt with statues and carvings that made it look like he had won a total victory. Even today, his image as a great warrior king remains. Then there was Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh. He did something no other Egyptian ruler had dared to do. He changed religion itself. Instead of worshipping many gods, he declared that there was only one true god, the sun deity Aten. He shut down temples, erased the names of old gods, and even moved the capital city. But this radical shift didn't last. After his death, the old gods returned and his name was almost completely erased from history. This raises an interesting question. How much control does a ruler really have over ideas? Can a single person change the beliefs of an entire civilization? Or does culture always push back? Egyptians didn't just think about power. They also thought deeply about the afterlife. To them, life on Earth was just a small part of existence. They believed that after death, a person's soul would stand before Osiris, the god of the underworld, and have their heart weighed against the feather of truth. If their heart was light, meaning they had lived a just and moral life, they would move on to paradise. If it was heavy with sin, they would be devoured by a monstrous creature and cease to exist. This belief wasn't just religious. It shaped Egyptian culture, laws, and even architecture. The pyramids, for example, weren't just tombs. They were spiritual machines designed to help the pharaoh reach the afterlife. The process of mummification wasn't just about preserving a body. It was about preparing the soul for eternity. But what about everyday life? What did the average Egyptian think about? Surprisingly, we know quite a bit, thanks to ancient writings. Egyptians had a rich sense of humor. They wrote love poetry, and they even left behind personal letters. Some show deep philosophical questions about fate and free will. One famous Egyptian text, The Debate Between a Man and His Soul, tells the story of a man questioning whether life has meaning or if he should embrace death. It's a debate that sounds strikingly modern, proof that the big questions we struggle with today are the same ones people asked thousands of years ago. And of course, we can't forget the achievements of Egyptian science and medicine. Egyptian doctors were some of the best in the ancient world. They performed surgeries, understood the basics of anatomy, and even created the first recorded medical textbooks. They also had knowledge of psychology, understanding that emotions and the mind played a role in physical health. So, if Egypt was so advanced, why did it fall? Like all great civilizations, it faced external threats. Persians, Greeks, and eventually Romans. But perhaps more importantly, it faced internal struggles. Over time, power became concentrated in fewer hands, corruption spread, and the system that had once worked so well began to break down. No civilization, no matter how strong, lasts forever. But in a way, Egypt never truly died. Its ideas, its art, and its philosophy influenced later civilizations, from Greece to Rome to the modern world. Even today, we still study its history, visit its monuments, and marvel at what it achieved. So next time you think of ancient Egypt, don't just think of pyramids and pharaohs. Think of the people, the rulers, the scribes, the farmers, the thinkers who lived, dreamed, and built a civilization that stood the test of time. And ask yourself, what will our own civilization leave behind for the future? If you enjoyed this journey through ancient history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you in the next video.